I'd like to invite my panelists for this session, which is Surgeons Beyond Surgery. And the panelists are Dr. Preetam Pathare, Dr. Anand Nande, Dr. Vinay Mende, and Dr. Simi Saxena. I'm not going to talk anything about their excellence in surgery, we know it all. And without wasting any time, since we are really running short of time, I'd just like to go ahead with the session. So, Dr. Vinay Mende, sir does a lot of things, and he is a trekker, a footballer, an actor, a cyclist, and has also recently added a new skill to his ever-growing list of skills. And this is what he is doing right now. Okay, this is Gulmarg, and so if anybody says age is not a number, you have to look at sir and say yes, age is not a number. Okay. So, sir, now, but going back to your first love, can you tell us a little bit about football? How did you start playing football and your club?
In my 8th standard, I went to stay in Western Railway quarters at Lower Burn. As you know, in Maharashtra or in India, especially a Marathi person has no exposure to any other game than cricket. But in Western Railway quarters, it was a cosmopolitan society. All my friends were mixed up, and so there we started playing football. And even as a 14-year-old, I could play with Western Railway team, which from that time used to play for Harvard League, which was the higher mostly Mumbai. Later on, I continued to play in college and medical college also. As you know, not much of sports, so you can easily gain entry into the football team. But we, 3 or 4 of us, regular football, we had to gather people who could just run and kick the ball and make up a team. But during my time, first time and last time, the GS Medical College team came into the quarter final of the intercollegiate. And that's why we could take our team to Patiala for All India interview.
So during COVID?
Okay. No, but later on, when after I started practice, I could start playing at Shivaji Park, where a group of boys were playing, and we joined and we started a club, which was known as Dadar 11 Club. And we entered the division. In 5 years, from 5th division, we reached the superior most division, and we are still there.
And sir, along with a few other coaches, they do a lot of coaching, football coaching, and this is free football coaching at Shivaji Park. So
yes, this is a good thing that came out of COVID. Because COVID, there was a lot of lockdown, everyone was locked up. When it opened out, I started taking my grandson to Shivaji Park to play, and my friends who had by the time became coaches, they brought their grandsons. And people were watching us playing football, so one by one they started asking us that whether they could send their children, and bigger children also came. And at the time we had 140 kids from 5 years to 17 years who we started structured coaching free of cost.
So if you have to get anything done from sir, especially getting to assist you for a case, it has to be nothing after 5 o'clock and before 7 o'clock. So this is how his group of kids has greeted him. This is, they're celebrating when sir was got the oration, when we came to know that he got the oration at MSSCON. So Dr. Simi, were you always athletically inclined, or how was it that you got into running, and at what age?
Oh, so running very late, but I'm a swimmer since childhood. So I started my swimming from National College of Physical Education in Gwalior when I was very small. And later I joined medical school, and after that didn't get any time. So I could not pursue that. But in 2015, I started swimming again, and that's what I entered into this fitness journey.
Great. So they say, how do you know if someone ran a marathon? Don't worry, they tell you. But it's not true about this woman. How many of you all do really know that she runs marathons? Okay, see, hardly anybody knows, okay? So, tell me, what is it that you enjoy most about running?
See, running in the morning, you get to see the sunrise, which is really beautiful. If you go to Lonavala Hills in the morning, the sunrise is really beautiful. Then the scenic places in Bombay, if we are running, the good routes we take, and then we enjoy the company of the runners, the co-runners,
Yes.
and the thrill I get, the buzz I get after that takes me all day. Like I'm so happy after that.
Yes, so this is a very short video and you're going to see how happy she is when she's running. And you know, it almost wants you to get onto the roads and run.
This
So
is the
it's
Lonavala.
not always, yeah, it's not always safe. Unfortunately, we all know what has happened recently. So how do you manage that, you know, when you're running very early in the mornings and, you know, with your long runs, you have to really start early. So how do you manage the safety aspect?
Yeah, that's what after that accident, the running fraternity, we all are really disturbed. Normally, like what we are taught, like my coach, they direct us to run against the traffic. Like if the traffic, we are running on the wrong side. But this doesn't apply when we are cycling. But when we are running against the traffic so that we can see if somebody is coming, the car is coming very fast, we can at least save ourselves. So that I want to really tell everyone that whosoever is just taking up running should always run on the wrong side, should run on the opposite,
Against the traffic.
against the
You can
traffic.
see the outcoming traffic.
Yes.
Incoming
Incoming traffic.
Yeah. Now, how do you keep yourself motivated? Doing the same thing over many years, does it require any level of pursuit or, you know, kind of pushing yourself?
Not at all. In fact, running has changed me completely. My perceptive, like more commitment is there in running. So I've become really, after taking up this running, I can take up any challenge. I'm bold now, and also it teaches many things like getting up in the morning, punctuality, perseverance, all these things.
Great, great. Dr. Nande is a classical singer as well as a teacher of classical music. And so, at what age did you get into singing and what was your inspiration? Can you tell us a little bit?
Well, I have been singing from my childhood. I realized very early in my life that I could sing well. And during the school gatherings and competitions, I have always been singing in different schools, colleges. In the Grand Medical College, we had a music society. And the 3-4 years that we were competing there, we got all the prizes. So, music has been there with me right from my childhood. What was the second question?
Who inspired you? Your inspiration?
My inspiration. It's difficult to say that, but if you want to see the childhood inspiration, it would be my mother, because she had also learned classical music. She had a very sweet voice, and probably I have inherited that from her. But also, I was interested in music right as a child, so I think there is some genetic, some genome has happened in me, which is responsible for that.
So, as a classical musician, how important is practice and discipline? And with your schedule, do you manage to regularly do riyaz?
Yes. See, I started learning classical music in a very structured manner only when I came to Mumbai. My father was a district judge, so we used to be in different district places. I never came to Mumbai till the age of 20 or so. But till that time I used to sing, but without understanding the anatomy of music, the Saregama Padhanisa business. It was only when I came here in second MBBS because of my father's transfer to the Bombay High Court that I found my teacher, Pandit Dinkar Kaikini, in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, a very renowned singer and a scholar of the Agra Gharana of singing. And then with him I started learning and learned continuously for 7 years. Even during my second, third MBBS house post, registrar's post, I used to go in the evening whenever I found time and learn from him. I gave exams because that gave some discipline and became Sangeet Visharad, which is equivalent to BA in music.
So, as a surgeon, what important role does music play in your life?
See, our surgeon's life is very stressful, and I find that music helps me to relax. It has a very healing effect on me. It also helps our patients in our nursing home, in the operation theatre. We play music, and our patients invariably tell us that they feel very relaxed. Actually, one patient, just before anesthesia, we were playing Bhimsenji's Avangavani, and after the surgery, he said, I felt that even if I die now, it doesn't matter because I'm listening to Bhimsenji. So people tend to relax, and it has an effect. It's like a meditation for me, So it has a good concert, a good program, always has a very relaxing effect on me. So much so that when I come home from a good concert, my wife can tell whether it was a good program or not just by looking at my face.
So, you are so immersed in classical music, and as things stand today, knowing your capabilities as a classical music exponent and teacher, if you could turn the clock back to the day that you started out as a student in first MBBS, would a career in classical music have been a possible alternative?
Absolutely possible. Actually, my Guruji, Pandit Kaikari, told me that he hasn't seen a student like me in the last 50 years who could carry his Vidya forward. So he wanted me to become a classical musician. So it was definitely possible. However, I also was good in surgery. So I was good in surgery, I was good in music, and you know that in this one lifetime, you can excel only in one art. And therefore, I decided to keep this as a serious hobby, but continue with surgery. Actually, at one time, I arranged a meeting between Professor Srikhande, who was my surgical guru, and Pandit Kaikini. I told them, you decide what I should continue. So Dr. Srikhande made a very wise statement. He said, he told Panditji that if Anand becomes a musician, he can't do operations, but if he becomes a surgeon, he can still sing. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Very wise statement.
Yeah. So we are just going to give you a little glimpse.
It's all right, it's all right.
If you do live singing, so you can do it right now. You can sing right now.
That you have to
You can go to my YouTube channel, Anand Nande, and you can hear the entire program.
Oh, great. Fine. Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Bakari, tell us a bit, since you are also into music, can you tell us a little bit about your music band and your favorite musical instrument?
When I passed my fourth standard scholarship, my parents gave me bongo, bongo as a percussion instrument. And since that time, I have started playing bongo. And from fourth standard to seventh standard, I was a Balmond student. So in front of Balmond, there was one building where we used to go to Mr. Jari Patke, who taught me tabla. For 3 years, I was learning tabla with him. And later on, it's been percussion is my passion. Even in the school, on your benches also, we used to, keep on putting our hands and create some music in the school also, in the class also. And later on, I started liking more, so I bought a Congo, which is a 3 thing. Then I got a dholak, dholki, and this what I'm playing right now is an octopi. So that's a very versatile instrument where you can create a lot many sounds. And I took a training from the guy who's sitting next to me on the Congo for this octopi. And this is first photograph is just clicked day before yesterday or day before by I think Mahendra sir when I was bajaving dhol at Delhi's Hernia conference, and sir has I think I didn't know that I didn't notice also.
So I'm going to take the liberty of just starting this video once again, Dr. Nandes. He's just connected this thing and we just
Yeah.
So, Dr. Preetham, when did you realize that you were artistically inclined as far as your paintings are concerned?
During school days, my drawing teacher saw that I can draw well, I can do some paintings, and I represented my school for the drawing competitions. And the intermediate and elementary, I have just got B grade in both the exams. I didn't get A grade or something. And then later on, medical career, 11, 12, and till the time I entered GS Medical College, there was no brush or pencil in my hand. Suddenly, first MBBS, I did 4 pencil diagrams of Durga Kote, Dimple Kapadia, Smita Patil, and one more I forgot, which has been displayed in the Marathi Wangmay Mandal of GS Medical. And then there was one Dhaigude Memorial Prize competition for painting, which I took part in, and then I painted axilla. And that time, one of the drawing teacher where I used to stay in Duruvadi, that particular drawing teacher was from municipal corporation municipal school. He taught me one technique of using Fevicol for painting, and I used that Fevicol, meaning pectoralis major and pectoralis minor. First of all, I drew that. Then I put Fevicol, allowed it to dry for 1 day. Next day, I put a serration to the other end of the brush and to show muscle lines. And then I put a burnt sienna color on that. No one used to come in your touch because it used to appear like this, that muscle is still right now cut and it's weight. And the story behind this I want to share with everyone is that when I passed my MBBS, I got good marks and I was getting surgery absolutely, and I came to the notice board to see that my marks were XYZ. I was not believing because they were not right marks written there. There was not XYZ, there were XYZ plus 10. I said this is something. I rushed to because I didn't want this mistake to take place, and then I rushed to the office of GS Medical and they reminded me, you got Dhaigude Memorial Prize, first prize for that axilla drawing, and for which this 10 marks are given.
So does being a surgeon influence your works of art?
Definitely, as you see that you cannot erase your incision. So when you take a line on the paper, you should not erase it. The way you have to be precise in taking incision, and you have to go ahead. You cannot come back.
Yeah.
So that's why the paintings are generally don't use much of erasers.
So, Mahendra sir, many a times in the evening, when he doesn't feel like driving, he comes to take rounds on a cycle. Yeah. So in Sushrusha, you may many a times see him on his cycle. So, sir has also done this great long cycling trip. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, I have continued cycling since childhood, and I was using it as a mode of transportation rather than being a sport or fashion. Because in the first 8 years of my practice, I can tell now that I could not afford four-wheeler. So I had a scooter and cycle. And as you know, Shushrusha has got no parking. You know the roads of the other. So best way to visit Shushrusha also was on cycle. I would go to play football on cycle. So that was the way And then, because Milling Bede, countryside, there is adventure tourism, he wanted to take 80 people NRIs on a trip from Alibag to Goa. And he wanted Reiki for that. And he saw me cycling, so he said, will you come as a doctor for that tour? I said, I will not come on for that as a doctor, then I cannot cycle. So I went with a group of 23, 24 people from Alibag to Goa. It went by coastal roads. It was 500 kilometers over 5 days.
At any time during this journey, did you ever feel like, what am I doing?
Oh yeah. As you know, the Konkan roads, they're all ups and downs. So after third, fourth day, there was a young fellow with me. I said, "Sir, bagitla ki doka firta." So he was better than me. He said, "Sir, cycle bagitli ki doka firta." And you might have seen this because at the end of that, after a fourth day, at near Dapoli, we had halted, and there was next to the tent there was a river, and all of us went to swim, to take bath. Really, I can't swim. So I asked for a soap, and it fell off my hands. So I said about soap गिर गया था, तो doctor बोल रहा है, तो he gave another soap, and that also fell down. I said, what the hell is happening? Then I realized that I got ulnar palsy. So I just did not tell anybody. I went to my tent, and one fellow came. Doctor, ये क्या हो गया? I said, don't worry. I also got the same thing. And 5 of us had this distal ulnar palsy. When I came back, I showed orthopedic surgeon, plastic surgeon. First thing, everyone cursed me. What the hell you are doing? कुछ भी करता है. And they started telling me, you take this steroids, this, that. Then I googled and found that there was a RCT on cyclists. They made cyclists travel 500 kilometers, and they found that in 20% of the cases there was distal ulnar palsy, whether it was professional cyclist or amateur cyclist, whether it was with gloves or without gloves, and type of handle. So then I told those orthopedic friends, you go into your subject and find out. This is known as cyclist palsy.
Great, sir. So, Dr. Simi can tell us a little about cycling also, because she has done something called as an Ironman. So, let's hear from her what the Ironman is.
So I would say Ironman is a big beast to conquer.
Great.
I had a lovely journey during this period.
Yeah, no, you tell us what Ironman is. I don't think not many people would be knowing.
So Ironman is, you have to swim for, this is half Ironman I'm talking. You have to swim for 1.9 kilometers in the open water. Then you have to cycle for 90 kilometers. And then 21 kilometers run, which is half marathon.
All these things are done one after the other.
So the cutoff for a female runner is 9.5, and for males it is 9. So I came second. I got the podium in that, and I finished in 8 hours 50 minutes. This I recently did in Pune.
Yeah, this was recently in Pune.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And how was the experience of swimming in the open water?
So normally the organizing committee, they allow you to go in the water a day before. So they arrange a practice session. So it was arranged for us, and then when I went there for the first time, I saw like the water was very dirty. It was not the same as we do in swimming pool.
Yes, totally.
And very slopey water, waves and all. So I was hesitant to enter first. But as soon as I entered, I started swimming, and then it went off very well.
Yeah. So you must have had a lot of sessions before that.
Yeah, we do little
Any open water swimming you had?
I did a triathlon before, like 2 years back I did a triathlon in Pune, in Kolhapur.
Okay. But in the sea, have you swum in the sea?
No, not in the sea, it's in the lake. Yeah, lake and...
Okay. Any memorable race story or experience that you could recount for us?
So this triathlon was the best for me because after, like once you finish your swim, you have to, there's a transition period, like it is included, like they count that period also. So you have to be very fast in changing. We don't change, the dress is same. It's known as the tri suit. So we immediately dry ourselves and we pick up our cycles and we start cycling. We come back and then immediately keep the cycle back on the racks and then start running again.
Fantastic. Dr. Nandi, how did you think of teaching classical music? What is it that you enjoy most about teaching?
You see, I like teaching right from the beginning. It's like Professor Shekande used to say, कि माझ्या रक्तामध्येच मास्तर आहे. Similarly, teaching is in my blood as well. And just like teaching surgery, I love teaching music. Basically, I like teaching whatever I know. As Ramdas Swami said, जे आपण अशी ठावे ते इतरांशी शिकवावे, शहाणे करून सोडावे सकळ जन. So, this is my passion. Now, I had not started teaching till 2010. In 2010, my Guruji expired. Panditji passed away. And I was thinking what I could do to keep his memory alive or as a tribute to his memory. And therefore, I started teaching 2-3 people. There were some youngsters. One very senior gynecologist also used to come, 75-year-old. And during COVID times, it was impossible for them to come, so now I teach them online.
Yes.
And because of my surgical circuit, it is impossible to teach every day.
Right.
So we take a class on Sunday evenings. Like today at 5:30, there will be a class online.
So are you choosy about the students that you teach?
No. The only thing that is important is the interest of the person. Because I feel any person with any kind of voice can learn music. Because even you can learn, Sharon. Really you can learn. Because there are many excellent top class musicians like say Mallikarjun Mansur who has a very hoarse voice. But still people throng to hear his concert. Because it is the mind behind the voice that people want to listen to. So anybody can learn. Only thing is there must be passion to learn. It is not a very casual thing because it's a serious art and he should be able to continue it for a long time with patience and perseverance.
What are the nuances of classical singing that you bring to the table as a teacher?
You see, in classical music, the first thing that you must be able to do is to identify 12 notes, 12 swar. Sare, Gama, Padani, Sa hai 7 swar hai, and there are 5 Vikrut swar. So the same variations of 5 of these notes, there are 12 notes. The entire music is within these 12 notes. And you may find it easy, but it is very difficult to identify them when somebody is singing, and you take almost a year to year and a half for you to understand and identify those notes. That is the first thing. Second thing is to be able to reproduce those notes in a perfect fashion with the correct frequency. Once this is mastered, then we train the students in the training of the larynx for moving. So for Tanakriya, for making fast variations. Once that is done, there is a systematic way of that. Then we go enter the rag business, because rag is a concept in which the person must be able to understand the notes first, he must be able to understand and identify them, and then he can start developing into the rag part of it.
As a teacher, if you could be a fly on the wall to hear any particular singer do riyaz or practice, who would that person be? Who would you like to hear?
Without a doubt, it would be Pandit Bhimsen Joshi.
Fantastic.
You see, when I read his biography, it was described that when he was learning with his teacher Savai Gandharva, Kungolkar, he would start his riyaz at 6 o'clock in the morning, would continuously sing for till about 12 o'clock, then a lunch break, and from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock. This he did for 6 years continuously. So I would have loved to witness that exactly how he did it. You see, riyaz and concert music is different. In Riyaz, you don't do the thing that you know again and again and again. In Riyaz, you do things you do not know. You have not mastered. So that there is a much more learning in listening to big people doing Riyaz, and therefore I would have loved to be a fly on the wall to hear Bhimsenji do Riyaz like this.
So how much originality can there be in classical music?
There can be a huge amount of originality because you see, just like Pritam's paintings, there is a frame which is fixed. He has to paint everything in that frame. He has been given certain colors, and then he can do whatever he wants with that. Similarly, in classical music, there is a framework. That framework is of tal. So for example, in teen tal, there are 16 beats. You do whatever you want to do in the 16 beats, and you have to come back on the first beat. Then in ragas, there are certain notes which are only allowed. So you have been given 5 notes, you have been given a structure. In that, you have the liberty to do whatever you want. And therefore, I love to see or hear the same singer sing the same rag year after year, because I can see the development of his mind in presentation of the same rag as years pass by.
Fantastic, sir. You've just given a very different perspective to listening to classical.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Dr. Pritam, tell us a little bit about your exhibitions.
I've been conducting exhibitions with the sole purpose that I do painting only for charity. We have one trust called Vasundhara Charitable Trust, named after my mother-in-law, and there is a village called Tarapur, which is near Boisar station, 20 kilometers away from that. It's a coastal village, and there is my wife's house is there, which is around more than 100 years old. There we have developed one clinic, OPD. Then my aim was that I will do painting. Painting will be bought by many people. Few are here already present. They will get their tax rebate, plus they will be feeling happy that they are helping in my trust. And my trust gets money for various purposes, right from even starting a borewell in the school. Starting a borewell for the water in the school costs around 40 to 55,000. 4 or 5 paintings can make that much money, and people get their things. And with this money, I got my pathology lab established over there, second-hand sonography machine, and I go every third Sunday to endoscopy over there. So this is the way I've started, and recently I had my 3rd exhibition at Nehru Center and 2nd one over there.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of a glimpse of Dr. Pritam's exhibition, and I have witnessed it, and they're really good, all his paintings. So.
It's all positive, Ashwini. When I am enjoying painting, and as Dr. Nande said, you are cut off from the rest of the world. The positive thinking is that I am finishing the painting. It comes out okay, good, whatever it is. Someone likes it. It's also positive feeling. Someone wants to donate something positive, and something positive work going on. E-learning program for the kids, and organic farming lectures arranged with all this money. So there is nothing negative about it. Everything is positive. And as Geeta says, I remain detached from my work.
So what about now? You are an artist and you have this talent, but do you think that your natural talent needs to be honed by a little bit of structured training?
Exactly, as Dr. Nande said, he was singing well from beginning. Still, like Sachin Tendulkar also used to play well, but there has to be someone guru to teach you. So I did during COVID times. It was tough time working for my nursing home, which was on at that time. It was not closed. And come home on Wednesday and Friday between 2 to 4. I joined one basic art foundation course by one Vikrant Shitole, who is an excellent watercolor artist. And for 2 hours, he has taught us what was a curriculum for the first year of a JJ School of Art. For almost 9 months it went on. And definitely that helps. You can create the same thing. It doesn't happen accidentally. If you learn, you can create the things.
So Mendere sir, which of your treks have you found to be the most difficult?
The most difficult, I think, was in Kailash Parikrama. The Dolma Gurgaon Pass is almost 19,000 feet. I was prepared for high altitude, but towards the end I realized that the rate of my walking was almost 1 step per second or something, or 1 step for 5 seconds or something like that. And then I realized that you see the movies where they show the mountaineering going to the last Everest. They go so slowly. Means at that level, I was going so slowly. It was quite difficult because of that.
Dr. Siddhi, any advice that you'd like to give a newbie runner?
So, I would say that take up running, but you should be consistent. That is the only thing in running. My coach, who's Mr. Samson Sekhar, he tells us every day the same thing, that you have to run every day or maybe 4 days a week, but be consistent. Come, have your own, whatever mileage he gives us, we complete. And so that is the only thing which I feel. And other than that, you have to take care when you're running on the road.
Yeah, so
Your safety is very important.
consistency and perseverance. Nandi sir, would you rather go into the past and experience the old masters at their craft, or look into the future and see what the next generation will be up to in classical music?
Good question. I would like to do both. Because finally, you see, we are standing today on the shoulders of our old masters.
Yes.
So just like I like to listen to old masters, I also like to listen to the new trends. Because you see, music is not static. It is evolving all the time. Like Mia Tansen never used to sing Khayal Gayatri. He used to sing Drupad and Dhamar. So his way of singing and our way of singing now, 300 years back, is different. Similarly, now newer methods of singing are coming up. And in music itself, there have been many artists like Jitendra Abhisheki, Kishori Amonkar, Kumar Gandharva, who have introduced newer techniques, newer styles, newer thoughts. Similarly, I also go to listen to the concerts by youngsters like Uday Bhavalkar, Omkar Dadarkar. Dadarkar is a grandson of Manik Verma. Then Kaushiki Chakravarti, she is also very good. Daughter of Nikhil Chakravarti, Abhay Chakravarti. And Arman Khan is another very good singer who is the son of Rashid Khan. He is coming up very well. And Ullas Kashakar's son, he is also, his first name is Samihan Kashakar. I am just telling this name so that people who are interested can follow them on YouTube. So these are very promising young artists who will be, I am sure, in 10-15 years, very high level of musicians.
So you think that classical music is in good hands right now?
Absolutely.
Great.
I am very positive and optimistic.
Fantastic. Any thing about remixes? What do you think about remixes?
I have no issue with remixes. You know, basically, as long as whatever is presented is musical, lyrical, and pleasing to you, is good music for me. So I love to listen to remixes as well. See, finally, the definition of a rag by our old pandits is Ranjayati iti raga. Whatever entertains is rag or music. So I am okay with remixes.
Dr. Preetham, who would be your ideal muse? Any person in the world who you would want to pose for you when you're painting?
Madhuri Dixit. As my wife's not around, but there is someone who can tell my wife here. So.
Okay, last 5 minutes. Dr. Kamath is glaring at me, but this I can't let go. This is my rapid fire round. So just literally 5 minutes, okay? Just absolutely 5 minutes. Dr. Mehndare sir, 2 people who you would want by your side during a tough trek.
One is Khem Thakur, who also taught me skiing because I came to know when he was on one of the journeys. He is very good skier, trekker, mountaineer. Other one probably again, probably Milind Vide.
I'm going to tell madam that you didn't take her name. If you
No,
lost,
who would like to be on, you said in difficulty.
yes.
So we don't want to increase her difficulty.
Okay, if you're lost on a trek, what would you pick? A fully charged phone or a bag full of eatables?
Oh, back to eatable because fully charged phone without signal has got no meaning.
Okay. Would you rather be on an airplane next to two arguing passengers or a crying infant?
Probably to arguing passengers because somehow I may be able to shut them up. Child I cannot touch.
Okay. When you write your autobiography, what is its name going to be?
It's unlikely that I might write stories. Many of them would be for others, but what I would say no hypocrisy.
Great, great. Dr. Simi, any celeb you would like to run along with?
So Kim Choke is a runner, he's the international runner.
Okay.
And otherwise I would say Madhuri Dixit because she gave me the podium.
Yes. Okay. What song pumps you up during your runs?
Or no song because we are strictly like we don't listen, not allowed at all. So
Cycling in National Park or cycling on Marine Drive? What would you prefer?
Marine
In the
Drive.
rains.
Marine Drive.
Most scenic running route in Mumbai?
Again Marine Drive.
Okay, autobiography name?
Life is a marathon.
Great, great. Nanda sir, for you, a song you would have liked to give playback for?
The song by Kishore Kumar, Dila Shayar Hai, Gamaz Nagma Hai.
Oh wow.
I would like to sing that.
Is that there on YouTube?
No, I have not sung it, no.
Okay, so you're going to sing it in
I will put it on.
for us? Okay. Your go-to karaoke song?
केतकी गुलाब जुही चंपक बन फूले.
A song you think should have been sung by a different singer?
I feel the male part of the Kuhu Kuhu Bole Kohelia, sung by Mohammed Rafi, could have been better sung by Manna Dey or Bhimsen.
Okay. Your go-to song to lift your spirits when you are low?
My most favorite song in this kind of situation is माझे जीवन गाडी, written by Mangesh Padgavkar, music by Pula Deshpande and sung by Abhishek.
Thank you. And the name of your autobiography, sir?
I am very doubtful whether I will write an autobiography because autobiography requires a lot of courage and honesty. So if at all I write a book about my life, not essentially autobiography, it will be the healing art of surgery and music.
Great. Thank you. Dr.
I
Preetham.
suggest Madhai Jivan.
Dr. Preetham, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa or Van Gogh's 12 Starry Night?
Okay, Van Gogh.
Watercolors or oil paints?
I love both.
Which famous artist would you like to get your work reviewed by?
As I told you, my own teacher Vikrant Chitole, but he's not that famous, but he's still in his world is famous.
If you had to get a portrait of yourself painted, would it be a Picasso or Raja Ravi Verma?
Raja Ravi Verma.
Madhubani or Varli?
Madhuban.
What name of your autobiography?
Rice plate. I think life should be rice plate. There should be everything in that rice plate. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Kamal.
One thing, Dr. Ashwini herself is an artist. She has shown me her sketches. So one hidden talent.